Yeah, we've been proud of the guys. Obviously we kind of hit a bad spot there and started conference play, put ourselves in a hole, and they've really responded well. We've cleaned up some things at both ends of the floor, and the guys have been, very responsive. They responded the right way from a leadership perspective, and then just a commitment to get to the next level at both ends. And so it's been, kind of a fun growth process for us. And then this weekend it was, the last really long road trip of the regular season and the start of a 4-gamer that we know is very demanding, all 4 games. So, Friday night we really kind of game planned quite a bit more than we normally do, and so it was challenging not only physically for the guys but mentally, and then emotionally. Black Hills and us have just had obviously a long history over these last few years in terms of getting to the top of the league, and so it kind of had everything, and 3,000 fans. So it was a fun night for us, and I was really proud of the way the guys responded on Saturday. I mean, it was like a hard-fought, bad-bounced game that they survived, and really in a lot of ways you knew they'd be up and ready for the first one, but it shows their real character of the way they handled the second night.
And, Friday, if it wasn't special enough beating a top 5 team, that was also your 100th win here at CMU. You're almost to 300 in your total head coaching career, too. So do you reflect on things like that?
Most coaches said they don't, and I really don't pay attention to the record, but I took over. This is my 4th head coaching job. They've all been rebuilds, and so after 8 years as a head coach, I'd only had one winning season because I was in the second rebuild, and my record was really bad. And so I think I'd won 25% of our games because we got the one program better, had the one winning record, then left, and then it took 5 years before we rebuilt the second one, and so I kind of stopped looking at the record then. And actually, after last year, I'm like, I think I'm getting close to 500. I probably got to be there somewhere, right? Which I didn't think would ever happen. And so I did look at it at the end of last season, and I actually was 282 and 280, which is weird that that's when I looked. But for me, it is important to reflect on those things just because, it lets you understand the process you've gone through and the growth that you've had. And, so that 100 wins for both Coach Boucher and I was meaningful to me just because 5 years ago there's a lot of uncertainty around the program. There's a lot of uncertainty if him and I were up for the task. And, so to be able to come in and it's like I wish somebody would have told me this 5 years ago. I would have a lot less stress, so, yeah, we do. I'm not counting games, but when you have those moments where it's like you do reflect back on what the last 5 years have been like. It's been a special place for me, and I'm just really appreciative to be here.
Blaise, for you, since you've been in here on a Wednesday, you've won Player of the Week not once but twice, once on the defensive end and once on the offensive end. I know you're somebody who takes pride in having a well-rounded game. You put in a lot of work to improve this year. What does it mean to be recognized on both ends of the court?
It means a lot. Kind of credit to what I put in this summer. I did a lot of work outside of just working on my offensive game. I did a lot of slides on the field, and I was in pretty harsh conditions all summer trying to over-prepare myself for moments for, when I'm in a comfortable gym. For me, playing in Friday's environment was more comfortable than when I was dealing with this summer playing, and I was doing slides in 15-degree weather and pushing the ball up the court on a turf field. So, that's a lot more comfortable than just coming out here and playing in a comfortable environment, a good gym. So, it's a credit to the work I put in, but, yeah, it's also a credit to my team and everyone kind of helping me out and giving me motivation. And I put a lot of extra work in just so I can be over-prepared for moments when I'm in the game and when I'm playing. So that means a lot to me, of course, for be recognized on both sides of the court because, I'm not really looked at as a defensive guy. I really struggled my freshman year coming in trying to play defense and be good and keep up with the pace because coming out of high school, the pace is completely different. It was just so much faster for me. So trying to make an adjustment and be better at my anticipation on the court. And still, I feel like I'm pretty good on the ball, but I know coaches stress that off the ball I do go through lapses when I get tired and I go through times when I'm just not into it. So I'm trying to stay that 30-second shot clock, always stay engaged with our team. And, it's a good credit to everybody.
Mac, you're also a pretty well-rounded player, but I know you're a guy who takes pride in defense. And on Friday, you guys are going to be facing the conference's leading scorer. Just talk a little bit about how you guys are preparing for that challenge and also the top team offense as well.
I know that we're just going to buy into whatever coach's game plan is, and I think that it's kind of the same as last year. We know a couple moves that he likes, and we're going to just try to get him out of his comfort zone a little bit and just play a well-rounded defense as a team and try to take him down all together, not just go one-on-one with him for sure.
All right, questions?
See, Blaise, Coach and I were talking last weekend about your game. As a freshman, you kind of mentioned, defense was a problem, but offense, you were the bull in the china shop. You had the ball, you were going to the hole. This year, especially these last 2 games, you have kind of mastered when you can take it hard to the hole and kind of when you have to pick your way through. Can you kind of talk a little bit about the process on that end of the floor?
I mean, just breaking down film with Coach KB, we've probably done it 6-7 times this year. Every week we're coming in, watching the last 2 games we play on the weekends, and I've gotten a lot better picking my spots of when to be aggressive and when to attack, because I know I've reduced my charges a lot this year because I'm not just running down into the paint. Like, I'm trying to become more of a 3-level threat, so people have to respect me at each level, and when I do become a 3-level threat and people have to play up on me and not just go under screens and play low, it reduces charges and helps me get a lot more open lanes. So just trying to continue to watch film and be ready to, because I know defenses are going to throw all type of different stuff at me. They're going to ice screens, they're going to go over screens, they're going to go under. So I just have to kind of feel out the game and know when to pick my spots and when to be aggressive and when to feed my guys. So, yeah, just picking my spots pretty much.
So, and Mac, you've been able, you've guarded Joel, and you can body these guys, but, you're shorter than most of the guys that you're going up against in the post. Kind of what are you doing to try to gain more of an advantage without sitting on the bench in foul trouble?
This year, that's a big focus, obviously. But this year we've added a couple more defensive principles in which it's more of a team concept instead of just one-on-one, which is super nice and super helpful. It seems like we're doing a lot better on that on both ends, offense and defense. But with a couple new concepts in which we can get like 2-on-1s and then just rotate as a team, we're communicating a lot better and doing that. So overall, it's kind of spreading out the fouls a little more. I think Coach has mentioned that a couple times instead of just having like one-on-one battles and fouling out. So.
I think that did help, especially against Black Hills, because you guys did rotate guys.
Yes, that was a big focus for sure.
And Mike, kind of back to your 100 wins. The fact that you got here so quickly, and we were talking, you only had maybe 3-4 guys on that first team that were here before. So it really was a reconstruction, and then to win 20, 21, 22 games with these guys as real freshmen during COVID, and just the fact that it's happened quicker, obviously. Anything that you learned from those first 2 rebuilds, or is it just worked?
Yeah, you learn stuff all the time. That's the goal, is to always be, getting better and figuring things out. And sometimes you forget stuff and then you relearn it. And, so yeah, we certainly learned stuff. But, we inherited a really nice group that first year. They were talented. There were obviously some differences that we were asking them to play a different way, and there were some struggles with that. But, we inherited a pretty good group. And then we really got very fortunate to get this group in right before COVID, because, now we had this young group that we could work with that year, and then they were competitive right away, and they've just kept getting better and better. They have an incredible work ethic, and they really enjoy each other. And so, it's just a really fun group to work with. So, yeah, I continue to learn stuff every day, and, it's one of the cool things about having a veteran team is that I learn a lot from our veteran players. Like, when guys are new, they drive me crazy when they got suggestions. But when guys are veteran, I'm asking these guys all the time. It's like, what are you guys seeing? What do you guys think we need to do? Because they understand who we are and what we're trying to do. A guy walks in the door and he's been here for 5 minutes and he's got answers to our problems. He doesn't understand what he's talking about. You got to learn our circumstance, and then they have tremendous value, and they're the ones that have to make the plays on the floor. So ultimately, we're just trying to help them be good decision makers on the floor. And I've been really proud of this group because they've grown in that regard a lot. So,
what's been your best suggestions that have actually worked?
I don't have a lot of suggestions. I just kind of go with the flow.
I'm not
So you guys have been in a rhythm for several weeks now of the Friday, Saturday back-to-backs, and it's a little different for the next 2 weeks. You guys go Friday, Tuesday, and then Saturday. Does that affect how you guys prepare at all, or do you just sort of take what's in front of you?
We're changing our schedule a little bit. We'll take the day off after the next 2 games, and so it's kind of a nice rhythm where we'll get to 3. We took an extra day off Monday. We'll get 3 practices, play Friday, take Saturday off, practice Monday, Tuesday, play, or practice Sunday, Monday, play Tuesday, take Wednesday off, and then be ready for that Saturday game. And so, it does allow us just to focus on one game. And I was in a league where that was our schedule, and it was nice, where you just kind of had the one game to focus on rather than the 2. So I think for the guys and for our practice schedule, they get the recovery period, they get singular focus on one opponent. So, we're thinking it'll work out well for us to be well prepared.
Coach, are you superstitious? Because you guys are on a roll, doing the back-to-back thing, and now it's going to change up on you.
Yeah, I'm not too superstitious. I think that the players decide the outcome. We just try to get them the best prepared we can, but yeah, I don't have any superstitions that I'm aware of. I don't know. You got any, Blaise?
For me, I like this schedule more because we get a couple of days to recover. I mean, Friday, Saturday is difficult for me personally. Just coming last Friday to Saturday was difficult because we were on such a high after Friday's game, and I just felt like we were kind of just going into Saturday like, all right, we just got to bring our emotions back down and just win this game. So it's difficult, but I mean, I enjoy this just one game at a time schedule. It's pretty dope.
All right, you guys, question of the week. You guys just got done with the longest road trip of the year. So where is your favorite place to travel to during the RMAC season?
Bronson Arena.
Yeah, I was
from my house. From my house.
That's what I was going to say.
Can't beat that.
I will say this. We were doing college visits last summer, so my daughter wanted to visit USC, so we drove out to L.A., and we got to our hotel, and I looked at the clock, and I was thinking, when did we leave? And I'm like, Los Angeles is closer to Grand Junction than Spearfish, South Dakota is, which is unbelievable to me. But so I would say the closest is my favorite. Right, Mac? You going with that?
I'm also going with that, yeah.